Hey everybody, it's Jason with Parallel Reality coming back with you today with an article from Red State. This is dated August 18th, and it's called Nothing to See Here, folks, except 24,000 plus non-citizens voting in the 2020 election. So that thing that we are told by the mainstream media never happens has happened yet again. So let's find out what this has to say here. It says, move along, folks, move along. Nothing to see here. Just a few non-citizens voting in our federal elections. The Democrats say we don't need the Save America Act, which would require voter ID, and that such things never happen, so we should be fine. Of course, all of that is total BS. It says the Census Bureau reported Tuesday that they're partially done pouring through the 2020 election data, and they've so far identified 24,000 non-citizen voters. Wait, what? That doesn't sound safe, legal, or rare. I see what you did there. It says if the percentage continues at the same rate as they count the rest, that number could easily rise to 30,000 votes that should not have been tallied. And yet, Congress still can't or won't pass SAVE. I think it's more of a won't than a can't. They have the ability to do it, they're just not doing it. As President Donald Trump noticed. Says whether these numbers would have been enough to decide the election is debatable, but there's still a lot more than zero. And yeah, the number should be zero. Okay, even if it was one, there's a problem somewhere, okay? That needs to be investigated. To say there's tens of thousands of people voting, that shouldn't be, like, that's a problem. And here's an embedded tweet from the White House that basically goes over that stuff, and I'll skip past that. We can scroll down because Red State always does their little thing and has it in this little gray box here. So it says, the Census Bureau has begun checking the voter roll records from 2020 against their citizenship records. Of the first 128 million voters, the Census Bureau proves that over 24,000 non-citizens voted illegally. The Census Bureau is going to analyze the next 32 million voters, and this number will explode. I won the election. We must pass the Save America Act. Thank you for your attention to this matter. I should know that saying by now and shouldn't screw it up, but I'm stupid, so there you go. Of course, that was President Trump saying that. It says the Census Bureau published the findings on their official website Tuesday. They explained that they collected data from sources such data clears record of federal election voters and registrants reported by secretaries of state around the country. Here's what they found in their words. Nearly 160 million voters cast ballots in the 2020 general election. The Census Bureau's beginning analysis readily determined with high confidence that over 128 million of these voter records represented citizens, and that over 24,000 of these voter records represented non-citizens at the time of election. Over 32 million voter records remain to be analyzed. And I'm kind of wondering if they could say something about, like, where those people voted. I mean, if it's kind of spread out all over the country, obviously there's a major problem, but if you can localize it to, like, a specific state or county or something like that, or, you know, even a city, like, you can narrow it down. I wonder what that looks like. It says the percentage might sound pretty small, about 0.02%, but when you look at it another way, it becomes more significant. I've checked these numbers in this tweet regarding 3 swing states, and they're accurate. And there's a tweet from an account I've never seen before, so Erica with 3 A's. See if it breaks down what she said. Okay, so it says, here's the breakdown. Arizona, there were 10,457 votes. Wisconsin, 20,682. Georgia, 11,779 votes. And that's the difference, I guess. It says, let me just check back up here. Yeah, it says the Census Bureau conceded that 24,000 illegals voted. It says POTUS says the number will grow. It says to put in comparison, POTUS lost Wisconsin, Arizona, and Georgia by 43,000 votes. And the total of those 3 numbers I just read is 42,918. That's a hell of a coincidence, I would say. And it says, where did most of these non-citizen voters come? Oh, here we go. And where did they come from? It says, if you guess Mexico, you get an imaginary gold-plated trophy. Okay, so this wasn't exactly what I thought. I was thinking it was going to go into the actual, like, states or counties or cities of where the people were voting. But we can see which countries voted, and there's all the percentages. I'm not going to go through every one, but far and away, it's Mexico. And it says, Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick had thoughts. Does it summarize his stuff? It says here, the Department of Commerce's Census Bureau just released its analysis showing more than 24,000 non-citizens illegally voted in the 2020 election. Not just registered, but literally illegally voted. And that is just the beginning. More than 32 million more voters' records will be analyzed in the coming weeks, and these records will likely show tens of thousands of additional illegal voters. The American people deserve transparency. We are making sure the facts are out for everyone to see. It is unconscionable that the Democrats refuse to back the Save America Act to protect our elections. The GOP should use any method at its disposal, including nuking the filibuster if they have to stop this blatant cheating. When it comes to actually protecting our democracy, instead of howling about imaginary threats, folks like Senate Minority Leader Chuck Jim Crow 2.0 Schumer, Democrat of New York, and Senator Adam It's All a Conspiracy Schiff, Democrat of California, are nowhere to be found. And then they have embedded the Naked Gun part where he's standing in front of the fireworks factory where all the fireworks are going off, and he's like, please disperse, there's nothing to see here, and so on and so forth. So yeah, again, like I started at the beginning, this is the thing they told us was never happening, but it keeps on happening, and we have proof that it keeps on happening. So what are you going to do about that, mainstream media? Are you going to report on this? And of course the answer is going to be no. So let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.